Warning, the following show features stunts performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. Accordingly, the reality guys and producers must insist that none of these opinions be taken as facts. Now, please enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined by my co-host, Kevin.
Hello.
We're here to talk to Challenge Ride or Dies. This is part 2 of the 3-part, 3-week finale, the famous 100-hour finale. Kev, like I said, last week I actually really enjoyed. I'm not going to overhate on this week. Didn't enjoy this week as much, but I don't really think it has anything to do with the actual challenges, station, or even the competitors. What is happening here is something we've talked about a lot, you, myself, and Brian, in the Amazing Race. There's just like no advantage right now to being in first, the first 2 legs. You just got to survive. It means absolutely nothing. And that's
Absolutely
what pisses
nothing.
me off, because it's like, who the hell cares how good you were day one? Who the hell cares? All that matters is next week. If you're good at the last 2 or 3 stations, that's all that matters. There's no, it could have taken them 12 hours to finish that today behind somebody else, and it would not have mattered. Besides, technically, you get to sleep less.
Which they didn't, which was weird. Like, oh, they figured it out. Like, whatever. I could beat you by 3 hours for you to get here, and then I get a 15-minute head start.
Exactly.
For a final that they're expressing the length of the time that it takes these contestants to finish it, they should really hold time more accountable when it comes to something like this. So, like, I don't know. You can see like the wins coming out of the sails when it comes to Tori and Devin, because they held as long as they could, and they're like, "Oh, all right, come on in.
Yeah, really.
We'll finish. Might as well just tell you what to do at this point," which they didn't. But obviously, it doesn't matter. And then the next one, they came down to the eating challenge, and that's where they lost their first place spot. And literally, as they're running down, they're like, "Why don't you come on down? We're eating a bunch of spaghetti. Doesn't really matter. Like,
Don't rush."
yeah, as long as we can beat you in the last 15 minutes, that's all that matters."
As long as we're better at tomorrow's puzzle, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, to me, what's a little frustrating.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
saw stations 4 through 7. We'll run through them, but the other main kind of point of this episode that anyone really will talk about is the continuing fighting between Aneesa and Jordan. Jordan making some snide comments like, no wonder it's been 13 years when she was hurt and being looked at by the paramedic. We talked about this last week. He is being kind of a dick. I mean, it is kind of his fault, but not his fault. Like, I mean, he didn't have to be a hard O and try to cut through the woods. Like, Johnny is right.
I mean, yeah, but she milks this stuff.
Yeah, my next point I have here is I have also don't feed into and totally hate the narrative of, if you're being a jerk to me, it makes me hard to want to win with you. Like,
Right.
shut up. Like,
Right.
you know, who cares if the guy's a jerk? You want to win the money. You're going to tell me that you'd rather not win because the guy's a jerk? Like, no way. I don't believe that.
She's shaping the story in her own like mind. It was, oh, I know for a fact that I wouldn't have rolled my ankle if it wasn't for a suggestion. Now I'm going to take my time. Not like she's doing it like manipulatively, but or whatever. But now, if I am getting down, I have this excuse like, well, my ankle hurts, blah blah blah, because of you. And then it came to a boil at what was the end of the last one, and what at the end of the day they still work together. Like, I don't know. She's kind of given into it. He's very much over it.
No, I agree. And he's just probably like, I'm doing so great. I'm burning these seasons, like being attached to someone. And I can see the frustration, but station 4 was the swamp puzzle. The only thing to note from the swamp puzzle was that there was the women of all 3 pairs that noticed the pattern, which I thought was pretty interesting.
And I also love that when it came to the Jordan and Aneesa situation, where she was like, "Oh no, there's a pattern." He's like, "Get over it," and then he figured like it was laid out for him. Yep. And then he's like, "Oh, yo, I got an idea." That was funny.
That was really funny. It was funny. Also, we have to talk besides Aneesa's ankle, Nani's knee. Looks like it may come into play. Really sore. It looks like she had hyperextended it or whatever earlier in the season. It seems like it's starting to act up, which makes sense. They're sleeping out in the cold, running a lot, pushing things. See how she makes out with the final. I guess it's what, 2 days or so. They said they were like 30 hours in. There's only
And
one
they
more
have the
episode.
lead. They have
There's
the
one more
lead, yeah.
episode. So like, I don't think
And
it's
this last one was only an hour, so I would assume they only have another hour left,
we'll see
unless
what-
they make it like a longer one. I don't know.
Yeah, the only other real thing, like you said, 6 and 7 was a combination of pushing the empty cars all the way through, which I thought was interesting. Great strategy by Jordan and Tori and Devin with not picking the one on the road, which was a trap because it was very muddy. Unfortunately for Nani and Bananas, they didn't notice that, and they had to push the car through the mud, which had to have been horrible.
Yeah, and not. I mean, I don't even think it was Johnny's fault. I think Nani just instinctively put her hand on the car, and they're like, "Oh, you got to go with that one," and they're like, oh,
I love TJ stickler rules like that. Oh, you touched the car.
yeah,
Jeez.
yeah." And it did say clearly in it, so
Learn
because
your
as soon as I saw her touch it, I went, "Oh my god, she touched it!" And then he goes, you guys got to take the one."
And he knew too. He knew that was the
Mhm.
trap car. They definitely set it up like that on purpose.
Mhm.
Final one was the eating challenge was spaghetti, bread, and ice cream. Kev, I've always said notoriously this is how I would fail at the challenge. Like, but this is the first one ever that I was like, oh, I could do this. I mean, I'd puke and stuff, obviously, but like it's the taste and dude, I could do this. Like, I'll do this all day. And so gave me a little glimmer of hope that I could compete in a challenge.
Yeah, I mean they did keep like mentioning the marinara sauce like needing to be added, and that I couldn't agree with more. I would
Oh, yeah.
much rather have that than like some dry buttery noodles.
I could still
But can
deal
I
with that
just
better
say,
than guts.
yeah, oh for sure. But can I just say, it looks like Nani has been practicing this for the past. Like she was throwing this food down her throat like a pelican eating Dory. Like it was just ridiculous. It was impressive more than ridiculous.
I actually really appreciate that analogy, the pelican and Dory. It's very good. Yeah, so overall, Kev, we're going to the next week. No one eliminated this week, which I was annoyed by. I wanted it to go into it being like a final set. I think it's supposed to be a 3-part finale. If I'm wrong, and there's another there's 2 episodes next week, then whatever the case is. But I had read it as next week being the finale. So I didn't watch the preview, so I didn't actually get to see what it said about that. But
I didn't either.
I want to see someone eliminated before the final ending, but it seems like they may let everyone try to finish it at this point. So we'll see what
I want to
happens.
know where it breaks up. I thought they were saying that was going to happen, but
Yeah,
I guess we'll see.
we'll find out. Check a look at everything else on the channel. We're covering everything from The Bachelor to Below Deck to MILF Manor, Married at First Sight, the Jersey Shore Family Vacation. Look out for some interviews starting to come back with some reality TV stars, cast members. Also, check out our TikTok. Really been starting to grow the last few weeks. We do a lot of reality TV news, 60-second reviews of reality TV shows like Love Island, and also just funny clips from things like Love and Hip Hop, Married at First Sight, anything. Oh, also an appearance here and there by Bachelor Batman. But for myself and Kevin, thank you. Peace.
So yeah.